Hello, hi everyone. This is Dakota Vincent, your guys' TA for the course, and I'm just going to be doing a quick walkthrough video of your guys' upcoming operations management simulation, as well as explain a bit more about what it is and kind of what you guys have to expect from the overall process. But real quick, the point of this simulation is to help you guys have a better understanding of the kind of resource allocation and management that real-world companies go through on a daily basis. So a lot of companies, they might have to deal with a lot of raw materials or with a lot of cash, and those are the big assets they focus on. But we also want you guys to get a good understanding of probably one of your most important resources, which is the people that work for you. So that's really what this assignment is trying to show you, is how to balance all the different kinds of resources that you might be exposed to in a simple way that you guys will hopefully have fun doing as well. So first thing first, you guys are all president and CEO of your own consulting firm. And so you guys are going to go ahead and put your name down. In this case, it's me. So I put Dakota Vincent, and then I name my company if it's consulting. I know it's really original name. You guys can name whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. Next, you guys are going to be introduced to your employees, and you guys are going to want to take a good amount of time familiarizing yourselves with these people, as well as understanding kind of their strengths and weaknesses. You'll see that specifically there's two different kinds of employees. You have your managers, and then you have your generic run-of-the-mill employees. Now managers, they're unique because they all were assigned first of all, a monthly salary, and they all have different background skills. Now the background skills are really important because you'll find that they will really benefit your project, and they will ultimately either help you get the project done faster, or they'll prevent a lot of maybe negative effects that might be coming out of a project in the future. So you guys really want to familiarize yourself with those skills, and as well and allocate them to the right projects as you see fit. You also see that they are assigned a productivity and a likability score. Now, a productivity score has to deal with like how much of a workhorse that person is, how much work they can get done, how fast they can get it done. A likability score has to deal with more if the person is likable, if they work well with others, if they work well in a team, and these two levels will ultimately determine the ability of a team to get a project done. And so, as you can see here, Tim, he's a really big workhorse. He gets things done fast and on time, but he's not a super likable person. So you're going to have to balance that with someone who might be more likable to make sure your projects get done in a timely fashion. Now you also see that you have employees, and they're a lot simpler. They have the same productivity and likability scores, but you will notice that the big thing here is that they don't have an hourly wage. That is for you to decide. Now you can assign these people whatever wage you want. They have to be a minimum of at least $20. You can't go any lower than that. And you should probably decide on assigning them wages that are more reflective of their productivity and likability. Again, you can assign whatever you want. Feel free to do that, but again, try to reflect and see what's a good wage for them, as well as plan for the future and get yourself ready for the coming year. I mean, giving them all like $50 an hour wouldn't be a very realistic thing, because that would drain your cash super fast, and you might go bankrupt before you get the first project even done. So familiarize with your employees, make sure you assign them an hourly wage, and then move on to the next part. So now this is the big essence of this first week, is planning out your year and getting ready. The following next week will be more focused on the actual simulation. That's where we run through it. That's where you guys will be seeing a lot of different factors going in, as well as you'll see a lot of good things coming out. And you'll be faced with a lot of unique challenges that you're going to have to overcome as they are presented to you. But to get ready for step 3 in the actual simulation, you're really going to want to put a lot of time and effort and focus onto getting your step 2 done and done well. So step 2, you're going to be taking, you'll have 15 projects that you'll have to kind of budget out your time and resources for during the entire year. During each of these projects, you have a company, and the Alpine Industries is the name of the company, is also the project name. And that's not really important, but it's just something good to know. They also have a specific type. So in this case, Alpine Industry, it's a consumer company. It's really focused in the consumer industry, whereas you might have like Quail is a tech industry kind of focused company. Again, the type doesn't factor in huge. You will see it kind of in the simulation. It does play a role, but don't stress about it too much. And the next thing you guys have to really focus on is the revenue that these projects will give you. So by the end of the completion, uh, when everything is said and done with that specific project, that's the amount of money that you guys will be receiving in return for completion of the project. Now you'll see that this middle part here is left blank, and that's intentional. Because every project will vary in cost and completion time, depending on who you assign to those projects. You will need to budget this out and fill it in as you go. So first things first, kind of look at the people that you want on the team. So you'll be taking however many employees that you want, and you'll be applying them to that team, and they'll become the team members. What you're going to do next is that you're going to total up all their productivity scores. So in this case, if you choose Tim, Rachel, and let's say Tiffany, Tiffany has a productivity score of 8, Rachel has a productivity score of 4, and Tim has a productivity score of 9. So that will give you a total of, sorry, I'm doing math in my head, that'll give you a total of 21 with Tiffany, Rachel, and Tim on that team. So let's go ahead and put them in. So I'm going to say Tim, Rachel, and Tiffany. Alright. And I said, I think that was 21. I apologize if my math was wrong. I'm just doing it off the top of my head. And then let's look at their likability score. So Tim, he has a likability score of 1. Rachel has a 2, and Tiffany has a 2. So their total productivity or likability score is 5. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there, 5. Next, you guys are going to be looking at what is this going to cost you. So you guys are going to be using this equation here. This is this first part here, as you can see, it's the monthly employee cost of the project, and then you're going to be adding the manager's salary. So in this case, we do have the manager Tim working on the project, so you'll be assigning him a salary. It's really important to also note you can't have 2 managers on the same project. They all have to be involved in different projects, but you don't have to have a manager on a project necessarily. So if you just want a project of all employees, that's fine. Don't worry about it, but you can't have multiple managers on the same project. So total employees hourly wage, let's say that Rachel and Tiffany, they each got an hourly wage of $40 an hour, or $20 an hour, so that'd be $40 total. And you're going to multiply that by 40 hours, which is in one work week, and that equals $1,600. Next, you're going to add to that, or you're going to multiply that by 4 weeks in a month. So that'll give you $24,000. And now you're going to be adding the manager's salary. So Tim's salary is $7,250 a month, and that will equal to 5, 0, 6, and 9. Oh, 9, 6, 5, 0. Sorry. So that's the 9,650 is how much it's going to cost you monthly to complete the project. Now that's not the total cost of the project, but this is a number that you really want to keep in mind. And then now you're going to be going to the completion time. Now you can see here that they have a total likability score or productivity score and total likability score. So you're going to take that and you're going to go scroll all the way down to this table. So in this timetable, you're going to look up, okay, so they have a total score of 21, but they have a likability score of 9 or of 5. So it's going to take them 5 months to complete this project. If their likability score is maybe say 21, so I'm just going to move this down a bit. There we go. If it was a likability score of like 21, you can say it would take them 2 months to complete the project. So that's a really good indication of where you want to be. now you guys are going to be putting that in, so that's going to take, completion time will be 3 months. So now that you know the completion time, you can now fill in this next part and multiply that by 3, and then that'll give you the total completion time. I'm not going to do the math. Let's just say it's going to be, let's see, it's going to be around, I'm just going to say $28,000. That's probably not anywhere close to what it is, but over the course of the 3 months, that's how much you're going to get out of it. So the total cost of this now is, I'm just going to say $28,000. Again, my math is probably wrong, so make sure you calculate the actual math. And then you're going to take all this information and you're going to be moving it onto your resource allocation template. So as you can see here, this is called a Gantt chart. You might see this in your futures, you might not. But this is what a lot of companies use to kind of plan out their projects, to map out their budgets and resources, and as well as schedule people to projects. This is a really rough one that I made for you guys to work with. They can get pretty complex in nature, but let's try to keep you on this one. If you guys choose to do a more complex one, if you guys are familiar with Gantt charts and you have a software that you prefer to use, by all means go ahead and use it. But this is just a template for you guys to work through and work out of. So we're going to go in and say, okay, so we have Alpine Industries, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to assign it a color. Sorry, let me try to step ahead of time, but okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to say that it is now blue, and then I'm going to change that to white. So Alpine Industries is my blue project, and here I'm going to go ahead and fill in my employees. So I have Tim, Rachel, and Tiffany, and then they're going to be working. This project is going to be happening from February to April. So see, the project took 3 months, and I filled in 3 months. If the project, like let's say quail, I'm going to fill that in as red, and then quail is going to take 5 months to complete. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that in, and then I'll put my employees. You'll need to merge the cells. So that's with this button here, and then you're going to fill it in. Just say your employee will be, I don't know, and then you fill in the names there. So once you have that, you're then going to put the cost. So the monthly cost, like I had mentioned before, was the $9,650. So over here, you're going to put first the manager's monthly salary, so that's 7,250, and then the employee cost I said was $2,400, because that's the monthly. You don't want the weekly, you want the monthly. So that will go here, 2,400. And then you'll also have your overhead costs here. Those are fixed. You can't change them. Those will be applied monthly. So total this month, it's going to cost you $15,150. You'll have $250,000 to start off with, and your job is to make sure that you never hit zero. So then these two columns will continue for the rest of the project life right there. And only on the month after that your project is complete, so here the project ended in April, in May is when you get paid. So in May, the project revenue, you're going to get, for Alpine Industries, you're going to get $35,000. So you're going to put here 3500, and that's, oh, one more zero. All right. And now you get revenue. As you can see, you're no longer, your monthly profit was positive, and you're going to be able to get to the next one done. So you're going to repeat that process. I know there's a lot, but you're going to just do the math, assign these a value, make sure you fill in, okay, here are the members, here's my total productivity, here's my total likability, and then here's the cost of the project, and then it's going to take 3 months to complete. And then you're going to be using the timetable to fill the spots in. Now, a really important thing, let's say that for this project you just wanted Tim working on it, okay? So you have Tim on the project. Now he only has a total productivity score of 9, and his total likability score is 1. And so if he was the only one to assign to the project, the cost would be really low. It'd just be 7,250 times 3. Um, but then when you look at the completion time, or not 3, it would be, the cost would be that times the completion time. But then because his productivity score is only 9, his likability score is only 1, that project is doomed to failure. Like, it doesn't matter how hard he works, it doesn't matter with who he works in this case, it's just not going to work out. And so you don't ever want a project that is low enough that it will fail. If the project fails, you will, and you actually go through, like if it's going to fail and you actually go through with it, you're going to lose all that money and you're just going to be leaking cash because the cost will still be applying. Um, and so if you're only working with, like, say, Jake and uh, with Jake and Gwen, those are the only two people on the team. Their project's gonna fail as well. They're never gonna get it done in time, and it's what you want to avoid. So by all means, never have a project failure occur. So I think that's everything. Make sure you read through everything. Another note is that each of the projects, they have a minimum time of 1 month, and so they can never be less than a month. So let's say that you manage to get your project within this area here, and Tim is also on the team. So Tim has a benefit where all tech projects that he's assigned to take 1 month less to complete. So if you guys get up here and it's a tech project and you assign Tim to it, you're like, oh yeah, I can. That's an instant payout, right? There's nothing I need to get done. Well, in the real world, it doesn't work like that. There's always going to be some work. It's not like, hey, I showed up, give me my money. So work needs to be get done, and that's why you can have a minimum of 1 month. So in this case, if you can get to 1 month, it might not be in your best interest to assign Tim to that project because it's just not going to do anything for you. You can better use him elsewhere. So again, make sure that it doesn't go lower than a month. Projects do take time to complete, and they can't happen instantaneously and you're good and you're done. So another last note again is that all management strategies and tactics that you may have learned throughout the semester are viable. So if there's anything you learned in class or you learned on your own throughout the semester that you think, okay, this would really work, and this will save me the time or this will save me money, you can bring it up. Just be sure you talk with Brother Wilson. He will tell you if that's a viable strategy in the simulation. Obviously, we can't account for everything, so if it's something that will either have the complexity too much, or we can't really determine what the outcome of said strategy would be, then he'll tell you can't do that. But if it is something that we can work in, and it is something that will either cut costs or it will make things better for you, then he'll let you know, and then you can fix those numbers according to that. But you just have to ask us first. You can't just go in and say, hey, this is what I'm doing, so this is what the outcome is going to be. It's for us to kind of decide. So, so yeah, and that's the entire project. So you're going to be turning in this completed worksheet with everything filled in, and you're also going to be filling in your completed Gantt chart and budget. So make sure this is all filled in, make sure you guys use it, and that you have accurate numbers going all across. And that'll be your step one, or steps 1 and 2 for this simulation. Again, next week will be step 3. That's when the actual simulation will be occurring, and you'll see a lot of interesting things playing out that you'll have to account for and reschedule and prepare yourselves for. So again, when you guys do this yourselves, make sure you fill in the planned part, and then when we're running the simulation, that's when you're going to be filling in the actual actual template for this assignment. I'm just going to go ahead. This was part of an example, so don't worry about it. But good luck. Hope you guys have fun. And again, if you have any questions, we'll be meeting on Wednesday's extra credit meeting. We'll be really focused on this, so feel free to direct questions during that time. If you have any urgent questions that need to get answered right away, you can ask us sooner, but most likely we will defer all questions to that extra credit meeting, just to make sure that it's answered for everyone and we're not answering 40 students' questions individually, one at a time. The meeting will be recorded, so anyone who can attend, you'll be able to go through and watch the recording, and hopefully someone answered your questions. And again, If your questions weren't answered during the meeting, then feel free to contact us directly and we'll be sure to answer those questions for you. But good luck with the assignment, and do your best to make sure you don't bleed out by the end of, or bleed out money-wise by the end of the simulation year, and that all your projects get done. All right, good luck. Bye.